When Spring creates a bean, it goes through a life cycle. It's initialized, its dependencies are injected, and eventually it's destroyed when no longer needed. Now, we can hook into different stages of this life cycle to perform specific actions like initializing resources or cleaning them up. Let me show you how this works. So here in the order service class, I'm going to add a new method, public void. We can call this method anything. The name doesn't really matter. What matters is the post construct annotation that we apply to this method. By applying this annotation, we are telling Spring that we have some initialization to do. More specifically, this method will be called after a bean of type order service is created and initialized, meaning after the call to the constructor. Let's see this in action. So let's add a print statement and say order service post construct. Now let's go to our app config class. In the previous lesson, we added the scope of prototype to the order service. We don't need it anymore, so I'm going to delete it to clean up the terminal output. Now let's run the application. All right, look, first we have order service created. This is happening inside the constructor. And then we have the post construct message. So this is an opportunity for us to do some kind of initialization, like opening database connections, network connections, anything that needs to happen after a bean is created. Now we have another lifecycle hook for executing logic just before an object is destroyed. So in the order service class, let's add another method, public void. Again, the name doesn't matter. We can call it anything. I'm going to call it cleanup. Now here we apply another annotation called pre-destroy. Now let's print order service pre-destroy. This method gives us an opportunity to release resources like database connections, file handles, threads, and so on. Now, if we run our application, we don't see the pre-destroy message here because our application context is not closed. Let me show you what I mean. So let's go back to our store application. Now we're going to change the type of context from application context to configurable application context. This interface extends the application context interface and gives us the ability to manually close the context. Let me show you. So hold down the command key on Mac or Control on Windows and click here. Look, this is an interface that extends the application context interface. So here, after we're done, we can call context.close. And now if we run our application failed to start because port 8080 was already in use. I'm not sure what's going on. Looks like there is a temporary issue. So I'm going to close this port on my machine. To do that, we go to our terminal window. On Mac or Linux, we type lsof-i:8080. This shows the process that is listening on this port. And here's the process ID. Now we can kill this process by typing kill-9 followed by the process ID, which is 42962 on my machine. Now, if you're using Windows, just use ChatGPT to find the command that you need for killing the process listening on port 8080. I'm not familiar with Windows, so sorry about that. Let's go ahead. Okay, this process is killed. Now, let's rerun our application. All right, here's our pre-destroy message.